Many people asking me what picture settings I'm using to play Assassin's Creed Shadows on my LG G4. So here we are. Okay, my friends, so let's talk about my LG G4 picture setting or picture mode, what I'm actually using to play all my games. And for all my games and also for PC usage, I'm using the game optimizer mode. The only recommendation what I have in this mode is actually change the white balance from 0, which is the standard factory setting, to warm 50, because then you get a much warmer picture and it is also much closer to the creator's intent. Okay, and now let's talk about my internal picture settings, what I'm using in Assassin's Creed Shadows. And this right now is my LG G4 with HGiG enabled. And I have to say, I actually like this picture. There's no need for me at the moment to use dynamic tone mapping on, but let's talk about HGiG versus dynamic tone mapping on in a second. Let me just bring up the settings I'm using right now for HGiG. So obviously, 1500 nits maximum luminance for the LG G4, and exposure setting is right now set to 0. So again, this would be my recommendation if you like to play this game in HGiG on an LG G4. Okay, but what about dynamic tone mapping on, which you can see here right now? And by the way, dynamic tone mapping off is not a very good idea. So this right now, again, dynamic tone mapping on my LG G4 with adjusted settings, and I'm going to show you this. Let me bring up the option menu, and again, maximum luminance, we haven't touched this. It's still 1500 nits for the LG G4, but I would recommend that if you like to use dynamic tone mapping on any of your LG OLED TVs, use an exposure setting of maximum 0.8 minus 0.8 maximum exposure setting. And I have to admit that dynamic tone mapping on with the exposure setting set to minus 0.8 is looking pretty good on my LG G4. So I really do like this picture. So here's a very quick comparison between HGiG with exposure setting set to 0 and dynamic tone mapping on with exposure set to minus 0.8. And I hope you can see this on your screen, but dynamic tone mapping on may clip some specular highlights on your screen. Comparing this with HGiG, you can clearly see that HGiG offers the better solution when it comes to details in specular highlights. And now let's talk about the fine-tuned dark area setting to get rid of the black level rays what we have in this game. And first of all, please make sure that you enable VRR on your console or PC. Otherwise, you can't use the fine-tuned dark area setting. And then what I would recommend is, if you like to play this game with HGiG enabled, use -3. -3 for HGiG. If you like to play this game with dynamic tone mapping on, use -10. -10 for dynamic tone mapping on. Okay, my friends, so that's it already for this very brief video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I see you guys next time. Bye.